The audacity of comments like this really make me question on how long people actually watch this shit. And considering with the Doom video that kind of got some exposure when it did, either people don't watch, or they only look at the title and the thumbnail and then they just brush it off, or they maybe watch it for like 5 seconds. This shit is not a fucking YouTube short or a TikTok. I wanted to do a video talking about Stellar Blade again. Yes, the 3rd video on Stellar Blade, and will probably be the last, unless there's some actual bullshit that came up. And you're probably wondering, Playa, why are you talking about this game again? Why don't you just let it go and let people be happy? Well, I'm actually kind of happy, actually, because, you know, balance and shit. No, I'm not going to do that autistic shit again. No. The game actually got a PC port. And you know what?
Golf clap? Golf clap.
But in all seriousness, it's actually good that this game is on PC. It's a game that lots of people... Sorry, I forgot to drink my aqua. Not that shit. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't no fucking weeaboo shit. I had some anticipation, I guess if you want to call it, that the game would be coming to PC. And even if it didn't, it's not that big of a deal. Mainly because, number one, I have absolutely no interest in the game. I have played plenty of games where you play as a female protagonist that is also a character and also has that balance of sexual appeal while also being a character. You could make conclusions for this for characters like with Bayonetta or Princess Peach, or even characters like 2B. Even with something like Eve from Stellar Blade, I just don't care for this hybrid that is Souls-like and all that shit. There was a bunch of nothing burger controversies with this game, whether it be that the game was getting censored, which is still bullshit, or that people are mad at Sony for once again bending the knee to Japanese products, which, yes, I know the game is made by a Korean studio, but it doesn't change the fact that any foreign developer of Sony, despite being from Japan, always gets the axe, but anything that is American, whether it be something like The Last of Us, gets a pass, and it's fucking retarded. Even if I don't enjoy something like Doki Doki Panic, no, not that one. There you go. That doesn't mean that it should be censored for everyone else. Hell, it's a miracle that even something like Corpse Party is uncensored on PlayStation products. And considering the nature of that game, it genuinely is surprising. It may not be my cup of tea for varying reasons, but that doesn't mean such art should be censored just because some people find such topics squeamish. You can just not play the fucking game. But you also shouldn't ruin the fun for everyone else. And I'm not just talking about making a video on YouTube or whatever platform, no. I'm talking about harassing people, doxing, threatening, whether it be developers or voice actors or any of that shit. They actually did something compared to what people would usually do on YouTube, being the couch quarterbacks and all. So, if you don't like something, yeah, I know the phrase, if you don't like it, don't watch it, can be a thing. But you can also be critical of something, while at the very least staying within your boundaries and not, like, going after people because fucking Laura Bailey voiced Abby in The Last of Us 2, which was so fucking dumb. Unless these so-called actors actually did something that could be on the league of, say, Quentin, the dude who voiced Raiden, or even the dude who currently voices Frieza in Dragon Ball. Yeah, people don't have to be like that. People can still be critical without crossing those boundaries, but I don't want to go on a laundry list of some shit. But I'm going to go back to the topic about Stellar Blade because, well, I have a couple things to say about the game and the genre as a whole again, so prepare for yet another escape room player bitching about Souls. Again. Stellar Blade is the type of game that is basically made to appeal to people, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with an art or media having art that can essentially please people. It's something that's been around as old as time. Like, do people not remember what mermaids and sirens were back in the day? I know it's kind of a foreign discussion and kind of weird oddball comparison, but when it comes to games or even movies, it has to do more than just looking good. And even seeing the gameplay, whether it be for trailers or for demos, I'm sorry, but Celeblade did not interest me. Okay? I don't care for these Souls-likes. They're only made just to be difficult, okay? Even people who have been playing through something like Elden Ring, Night Rain, it is tiring for games only made to be difficult and nothing more. Like, this is not the world's hardest game anymore. Especially when a lot of these games are made by a lot of people, and obviously the budget goes way more into graphical presentation, or even the musical score, than anything else. Now, maybe my mind could be changed on Celeblade if I were to buy the game secondhand, as I have done with some games. I know some people are going to be mad at me or saying I'm a hypocrite for buying something like AI Limit digitally, which, considering that you lots also complain about Code Vein, and yes, I'm somewhat excited about the game getting a sequel. Though you have to remember that even the Eastern industry is just as fucked as the West, and I don't want to hear that I'm being a grifter, or that I'm not being truthful, or that I'm lying or whatever. You damn well know that both sides of this world, or even all sides of it, is getting their own version of The Last of Us. It ain't that fucking deep. Well, actually it is deep, because a lot of people really like anime, believe it or not. Some people don't, but that doesn't mean they're a piece of shit. And even if something as gracious as anime should not be tainted by people who think that big-boobed lady is considered offensive. No, what I find particularly offensive in Celeblade is the type of game that it is, the Souls-like genre, because it's tiring at this point. And yes, again, you're going to be wondering, oh, well, AI Limit is a Souls-like, so why do you give that the exception? Maybe because it wasn't nearly as crapped on just for being a Souls-like, and I'm pretty sure it has a much more compelling and interesting story, but it's also on both PlayStation and PC, something of which Celeblade was not. Yes, it's technically no longer a PlayStation exclusive anymore, but you want to know what Celeblade also has on PC? No, actually, not that PlayStation DRM shit that people got pissed off about. No, it actually has Denuvo. Yeah, you know, the fucking flat earther tier Redditor whatever discussion that's on Steam that everyone always gets a pass or whatever. Or then when people say that nobody was defending Sonic Mania having Denuvo when it literally was a thing, people just forgot. I'm going to keep sharing this screenshot every single time people want to bring up Denuvo. You damn well know people defended Denuvo. As long as one person defends it, you're all part of the fucking problem. It's damn well known at this point that Denuvo is just not good for PC games, period. And even especially with something like Doom the Dark Ages having forced ray tracing and other unoptimized graphical options, even going on something like Digital Foundry, you can damn well see that even PC players are getting just as cocked as console players are. And it's not because console players can't get mods and shit. Which is technically funny because there's even save editors for PlayStation or Xbox, but those usually cost money, and I'm pretty sure you have to buy them for good reason. And even then it may not even be worth it. And you're probably wondering, who would dare waste such money to get good at Elden Ring? And I'm not going to link it this time. You seriously have to find it yourself, because we all know that dude is flag happy. Or as Lee like to call in this world, a flagget. And you're also going to be wondering, oh, the Playa AI Limit is also on Epic Games. Well, yeah, that's correct. But you can also get the game on Steam, which doesn't have Denuvo. And yes, there's a digital deluxe edition that doesn't really have anything of interest to offer, but it's still something for people who want to spend a little extra coin and get a little more value out of it. Now, I'm not going to say that AI Limit is better than Celeblade, obviously, but a lot of people are pretty damn xenophobic when it comes to anime as of late, and it's kind of disgusting. And not to mention that even AI Limit has some resemblance to Code Vein, which people hated because, oh my god, anime souls. Western Berserk, anybody? AI Limit is anime, not Stellar Blade style anime? What the fuck? Stellar Blade would have been a lot more interesting if it actually was different, considering that the initial gameplay made it seem like it was going to be a Nier Automata clone, but then after the fact it just turns out to be a Souls-like, where I'm pretty sure that at least AI Limit was somewhat more honest. It's hard to really put into retrospective, to be honest, and this certainly does feel like an Ace of Thorns here, retrospective, quote-unquote, because I barely put in any time in the AI limit, and I'm probably not going to bother playing Cellblade unless, again, I can get it secondhand on PS5 and for a bargain bin price, kind of like what Heavy Metal Gamer mentioned in his old Capcom video. I'm sure that there are going to be people defending this game as if it's perfect, and that's kind of part of the problem. Like, even something like Bayonetta can at least stand out. I don't really think Cellblade stands out. Call me a hypocrite, call me an asshole, but maybe, just maybe, there could be something AI limit that makes me say, maybe I'll see what Cellblade is like, but I'm not seeing it here. Before I do go, I do want to mention one other very important detail, and another game that I technically forgot to mention. And that is Senran Kagura S-Full Versus. Yes, the game that's buggy as fuck in the PS5, unfortunately. Fucking goddamn it, Sony. Honestly, yes, I do like the game. Yes, I know that it's a Musou-styled action game, which means that it is clearly inferior to the likes of Devil May Cry or whatever bullshit Bayonetta wants to be. I really don't give a fuck. Sometimes games can be simple, yet engaging, and it has options for customizations of waifus that isn't locked to shady microtransaction DLC or whatever. Yes, there is some sort of loot box system in-game, but you don't have to spend real money to do it. You can just grind out the missions that you like doing, play as the chick with the fucking blades on her hair or whatever, and you can get lots of money and experience. And it wasn't even a fucking bore to boot, which is a thing that with these types of games, that it wants to promise it as this sexual experience, but then when you actually play it, you're either left with annoyance and or confusion. I mean, I can't use the one-hand meme or whatever that these weirdos like to use. There were some bits in Senran Kagura that I didn't care for, but I know that from my time on playing it, I certainly was not annoyed or confused. A lot of people probably like Katsuragi for obvious reasons, but it's just too bad that the game is basically only on PlayStation and PC. It would be awesome if the game was actually on other systems. And no, I'm not going to be bothering with the other games in the series. Maybe except Shinobi Versus, as that's technically the other game I played, although it's a bit lacking compared to S-Full Versus, which is essentially the more balanced of the lot. A lot of the other games are weird in a way. Like, you have a third-person water sports game. God, no, not that shit. Fuck you. You also have some weird visual novel and cooking game. I'm sure they're interesting, but I understand that in Senran Kagura you're playing as ninjas, and the things that ninjas usually do pretty well is kicking ass. Unfortunately, getting the game to play against bots on the PC version because fucking stupid Sony requiring you to pay for online even against bots. I mean, I guess to be fair, even Doom has that covered on all fronts, but, you know. It's like the one game in the series I could say is actually worth playing, at least on like a good starting point. I do like Senran Kagura. I don't expect every game to be like it, but I know a lot of people will be mad at me for liking this, or even AI Limit, but not Cellblade. Well, fuck you. I ain't Freddie Benson. I don't care for Cellblade. If that somehow gets me canceled, you're just a piece of shit. Stop living your I hate Fred bullshit tier Redditor world and just actually let people dislike things without having to be a pissant about it. Unlike you. Now, I would come up with a lesbian joke, but let's just say that Katsuragi already has that shit cleared up. You know, I think her and Taokaka should get along together. I think they would excel pretty well in game.